Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We are here with a banging series between the creative master himself, the man that's back on top of North America. It's Max Angel, aka ASTREA. Sounds a lot like Australia, maybe part of why I'm so friendly with this lad. His opponent down here in the bottom right side, though, this is special. And it's the king of Latin America versus a player who was always going back and forth with need for the king of North America over the last few years. And what's cool is North America, Latin America has been combined in the current year. So these two are kind of fighting, saying, hey, guess what? Let's see who can actually fight for this crown. Let's see who's the big dog in this scenario. Who's going to take over the joint Americas region? This is a semi-finals match. It's a best of 5. And full disclosure, I did just cast the first 8 minutes of this first map in this best of 5 before realizing my audio was broken, and so I'm re-recording it. Apologies for not being as surprised by everything as I might otherwise be. But thankfully, we've got the audio all working now. And this is the opening which had me absolutely shocked when I opened this replay. I was like, wait, what the hell? I was in the middle of talking about how Australia does creative openings, and I saw this second gateway, and I was like, huh? Who does a 2-gate opening versus Terran? This is so bizarre. And actually, it's dawned on me, guys. This is exactly a build order someone did to me yesterday or the day before on ladder. And I was kind of like, well, that's bad. This is a dumb build. This is, I believe my exact words were, this is a stupid low GM PVT build. Like, it's like some crappy made up NA build. Only some idiot on NA ladder would do this. Apologies to the GM player that did that to me. You were just copying an ASTREA build, apparently, because it's exactly this build. It's gate, gas, scout for the engineering bay block, get the second gate, the cyber core, and then 19 nexus into, of course, another probe, a pylon, and then he's going to chrono adepts across this map. So this is a fierce 4 adept pressure, especially if you go low ground command center. Very hard to deal with this because you just cannot defend the SCV on the command center. There's so many adepts coming in, even with a bunker. You know, you just can't actually build the CC. Special is luckily for him, though, doing what a lot of Terrans are doing these days, saying skip the scout, just go for a high ground command center, and it is a double gas. Actually, no, this wasn't a double gas opening. Sorry, it's a gas first. So this was gas first, Reaper expand with the command center on the high ground. And because with the gas first, you can't afford a second barracks unit or anything like that. You're just kind of teching up. That's the way to do it. You basically build the CC on the high ground, your Reaper pins your opponent at home. Even though the Reaper's a few seconds late, it's already keeping one of ASTREA's adepts at home. ASTREA was already a little late on chrono boosting, so his adepts are kind of split up, not getting across the map as fast as they can, but he is building a pylon over there. Now, ASTREA, I don't think he spotted this Reaper coming in. Special being a bit of a sneaky snake here, gets right in there, goes after that probe. Oh, those probes pulled a little late. He needed to threaten the surround to defend that first probe. Oh my god, the adepts aren't quite on top of it either. He loses a second probe. A little bit of a disaster. The Reapers are trying to pull back. And can he get one more? If he gets a third probe, that'd be kind of crazy. Ooh, oh, I thought he was going to get that. Okay, only 2. But that's still massive, because remember, ASTREA, he's the one meant to be putting on the aggression and finding damage. He's committed a lot to do that. He's not finding anything. Special's just like, that's fine. I have 4 Marines. Like, we can just use our 5 range versus your 4 range to outrange you. Twilight Council is on the way, but of course it's quite delayed. And most importantly, the probe count sucks. Only being up 1 worker, not good for Protoss. ASTREA's going to lose an adept here as well. This is a disaster. And with the firepower of the Marines, he actually loses 2 adepts. This is an absolute disaster. This early game, I believe what I said before is it's a little bit like ASTREA's just falling down a flight of steps. Things keep going wrong for him. He's going to need the next few minutes to be exceptionally clean, or this is just going to get, you know, go from bad to worse. Special's already had everything just kind of uninterrupted, hasn't really taken any losses except the 1 Reaper, which you don't care about. He's got the Cyclone and the Marines for complete control. He doesn't even need to invest in a bunker, so he's going straight for Cloaked Banshees, which is coming into the meta. This is a very interesting kind of change in the meta, as people just saying, yeah, let's go Cloaked Banshees, let's mix that in. And it always forces a big response. I know personally, I find it very difficult to deal with a player who's really good at handling those Banshees, especially if they arrive without being spotted ahead of time. Like, if you don't see them coming, it's incredibly hard. Now, ASTREA, after the poor opening, couldn't use this pylon. Instead, it just gets given away as a bit of a sacrifice to his opponent. And it looks like he's going 4-gate blink, which, let's be real, is not ASTREA's specialty. I think he's doing this because he thinks, well, there could be all sorts of timing attacks coming out of this. 4-gate blink's going to keep me safe. The problem is, we know it's not going to be a sharp timing attack. It's just Banshee harass into 3 racks. So Special's just going to harass him with Banshees. He's then going to roll up with Stim and Shields at probably the 8.5 minute mark is probably the real committed timing. You might think that's late for a 2-base timing, but not if you've gone, of course, for Cloaked Banshees beforehand. That's a big investment. It's going to slow things down for his follow-up push. So it does kind of need to do a little bit of damage, but at the same time, ASTREA is so far behind. Oh, his Pylon might see this Banshee coming in. Special needs to cloak that. He needs to cloak it. That actually got spotted there. Let's go to ASTREA's camera. Oh, he doesn't notice. He was building his third Nexus. He doesn't notice. We're on ASTREA's camera right now. The Banshee starting to shoot his probes. He instantly snap recalls that Observer from the middle of the map. That was a very quick recall on the Observer. That could have been terrible. He only loses 4 probes. I gotta say, exceptional defense by ASTREA. At the same time, can he even afford to lose 4 probes right now? He's only on 37 workers. Every worker he loses is so rough for him right now. And the Prism and the Banshee are going to fly past each other. There's an army coming here. ASTREA cannot afford to throw this Prism away. No! No! Oh, man. Dude. Okay, this is like a cartoon. Like, ASTREA's the cartoon bad guy where everything just keeps going wrong. You know, Special has set up his Home Alone house of traps. And there's, you know, paint cans swinging in, hitting him in the head. ASTREA's trying to ring the doorbell and there's a bloody thumbtack in it. I don't know, there's a hammer falling out of the ceiling and smashing him in the face. It's a bad game for ASTREA. Things are not going right. It is really, really rough for him. Finally, if he can get this Banshee as well, I mean, good handling, good handling. Does stop that from doing any more damage. I do often talk about how ASTREA is the, you know, the Rocky Balboa PvT player. We've seen him get way behind and make amazing comebacks. Now, unfortunately for him, the reason why we don't give him God tier status in the matchup despite that is he does have a tendency to give away advantages sometimes as well. He's like really good at coming back from behind, but he's also not the best at finishing the game when he's ahead in PvT. So his exceptional strength at surviving and getting back in the game is unfortunately paired with sometimes a little bit of a lacking skill to finish the game off. And I think he'd agree with that analysis. I don't think that's unfair. But the fact that he's even getting up to 3-base and trying to overtake on workers is itself something, but it is a 5-racks 2-base all-in for Special. These Stalkers, well, Special's way out of position. He was not expecting any counterattacks right now. He thought, I'm the one who's being aggressive. That combat shield is going to get delayed here, or denied, I should say. And there we go, nice trades. Does get a Marauder. He should just get out of here. Oh, he's going to go for the Raven. Special leaves that Raven hanging out, loses it. But that does cost 3 Stalkers there for ASTREA. The Observer, oh, if he pulled that Observer back, that could have survived. These are the little details he can't be making mistakes on because now that drop's going to sneak across the map. Oh, no. Okay, he's got an Adept up there, actually. At least the Adept spots it, but yet again, another kind of free kill here for Special to take out. That unit's lost tab is not something you want when you've been kind of down or even on economy all game. ASTREA somehow is at 60 probes. He's going to go for Storm as the comeback tech here. Storm is incredibly powerful. It has so much potential. And look at that. ASTREA cleans that up, which is huge. That allows him to bring these Stalkers and Observers back out on the map to give him vision. He got rid of the Raven. So that Observers, I mean, those Observers would be great. They're both in defensive stances right now. He's moving 1 forward. If he can see where this army's coming from, that's going to be big. He's moving 1 on the north. This one he's forgotten about. He's got 3 High Templar, but he needs to get them inside the Prism. The Prism's about to come out right now. He needs to load up, but I don't think he knows this push is here. Uh-oh. Oh, this is so hard. I feel like if ASTREA could drop a Storm on that, because he delayed combat shields, he could kill these Marines like so quickly. 1 second in Storm, they're half dead. 2 seconds, they are dead. Oh, but look at that. Nice pullback on the Marines. The Marauder's holding the front line, dodges the Storm. Special with excellent control. The tank's doing well against the Stalkers. Another Storm does push those Marines back. Special, he's going to lose the Siege tanks. No, 1 Siege tank does survive. All the Storm is gone. All the Storm is gone. That Archon left hanging out. More Zealots warping in for ASTREA right now. He's on 8-gate Zealot trying to hang on. Those Widow Mines are going to cause him problems. 1 Zealot goes down. Good spready there from ASTREA. ASTREA, no shield battery on the natural. Oh, man, it looks like Special just has way too many units right now. And I do think, oh, okay, he comes in with a Storm from the bottom. But, oh man, he's losing his Stalkers. I mean, there's just no way. He's in such a bad spot. That being said, it is a 2-base all-in, but oh, Special's medevac barely gets out with those units. The fact that he can just rally to the front like this is such an issue. Now, ASTREA, you can see he had 2 Zealots ready to do a backstab on the 3rd base of Special. He's realized there is no 3rd base. The Stalker's blinking forward, but he's taking big tank shots and big Marauder shots as well. Still no shield battery on this natural. Trying to build Immortal Stalkers. Anything that he can micro backwards against this. Good blink micro so far. Trying to do Prism pickups and drippy droppies. The Marine Marauder coming in. The Stalkers and the Zealots fighting as best they can. Not much medevac healing here. That's one weakness for Special. ASTREA's been doing a good job of focusing down the medevacs when he can, but Special picking up and dropping units as they're weak. It's more Prism versus medevac pickup Vicar right now for both sides. Oh, he targets the Prism. That was manual control. It was targeting the Immortal. I'm pretty sure he clicked it on the Prism just before it picked up the Immortal. Special takes out the Warp Prism, which was already damaged, and so it does go down. The Marine Mortar's going to go to the south. ASTREA on the ropes right now after a disastrous early game. Special looking for just a simple 2-base finish. The Zealots will finally take out the tank on the north, but he's losing a lot of Stalkers at the same time. Very valuable units. And there we go. Special does pick up these units and just flies away. Not enough Stalkers to really punish that. He's going to have to regroup a little bit further back. Meanwhile, new Warp Prisms being built. There are somehow 2 High Templar on the map. He's going to start gathering energy. He's actually got 2 Psystorms kicking in. 1 or 2 good Psystorms and a 4th base trying to go down. I'm telling you, ASTREA is blocking Special's fists with his face and somehow is still conscious. Any other Protoss player would have been knocked out by now. It still looks absolutely dire for him. But I'm just impressed that he didn't crumble against the first wave. There has been such a massive unit advantage for Special over the last 3 minutes of this game. And look at this. Okay, 3rd base does finally start. The 2 Zealot run by the Max Pack Special. We need to give these 2 Zealots names, guys, because every ASTREA game, every Max Packs game, they always hit that 3rd base. They're always waiting outside the 3rd, going in, going out. I mean, you guys let me know your ideas for names for those Zealots, but I feel like they need to become characters since they are now regulars in the show. Warp Prism does get stopped by the turret, but good micro. ASTREA paying close attention does end up fixing that. Meanwhile, in the main base, looks like a Widowmine goes in, gets 5 probes, picks up, saves it. Nicely done. Oh, okay, there we go. Chad and Hunter do get picked up by that Warp Prism. They're going to get dropped in the main and start going off the SCVs. Nice defense by Special so far, but the Marauder blocks the Marines from getting towards the Prism. Prism's going to hide in the back door. Down here in the 3rd base, single Marauder gets in, starts killing those units. Looks like the Widowmine drop tried to come back in. Not sure if that was an F2 or not. It does go down. These Unsieged Liberators can take out the Prism. Special's going to fix that up. He says, okay, get out of here with your silly counter pressure. Marine drop goes in. That goes down as well. Unfortunately for ASTREA, as well as he defended all that, he's equal on workers and he loses his 4th base. A disaster for ASTREA. If he got that 4th base up, that would be massive because look, guys, his mineral lines, they're all getting mined out. He's oversaturated, even with just 55 workers. Because this game's going to the 12-minute mark, the bases are all mining out, and the players desperately need to open new mineral lines. Special's income over the last few minutes has massively dropped. His minerals are almost all gone, but he's got a 3rd base up, which means with mules dropping, he can continue that production, and a nice Doom drop in the main. There's an Artosis Pylon. If he gets that Artosis Pylon, ASTREA is screwed. ASTREA splits only a few units. That's not enough. This is a triple drop. He needs to spend a lot more up here. Just a few Zealots and Stalkers will not deal with this. Special, good friends with Artosis, goes past, goes for the Forge, denies the +2 armor upgrade. It's a 1-1 upgrade to 0-1 advantage for Special. A few of these units go down. Special running away. I guess the Psystorm is a very intimidating thing. Double Liberator coming in from behind as well at the same time. Oh, wave 2 of those double Zealot harass comes in. They get cleaned up. Special's all over it right now. Double Lib sieging. Quick reaction by ASTREA. But 4 Stalkers is not enough. Uh-oh. He might not be paying attention. Okay, he actually blinks in. I was like, 4 Stalkers are going to die to 2 Libs, aren't they? But you know what? No, the Libs don't have upgrades. They will be able to take out one. The other Lib is going to reposition. Widowmines are scattered all over. He's got zoning control, area control over ASTREA's side of the map, and that is always a problem. 3 Stalkers and a few Zealots are going to come up. The Stalkers derping out a little bit, which means you're going to give time for a few more probes to go down. They blink in to tank the shots, and another 5 workers have fallen. ASTREA cannot afford to lose this 4th one more time. Special's too good, man. Special is not letting go of this game. As much as I'm hyping up ASTREA's comeback attempts, Special is not just playing a lazy game of StarCraft. He's not playing a panic game of StarCraft. He's been methodical from start to finish, and well, that run by is a little bit questionable. That's the Pig Special, guys. That's where you triple stim 40 supply of bio into their base, realize it's not a good idea, and then you turn around and run back to the medevacs and hope you have time to heal them up. It's just, ooh, storms. Uh-oh, you just get out of there, Special. Oh my god. And this is such a small army for ASTREA. You can't really hunt that down. But Special does have to stim and run away. He's going to double drop the main at the same time. We'll see exactly which way he goes. The double drop is massive there. Oh, this ASTREA is not watching. He literally just stimmed a pack of Marauders in, took out all the High Templar. The drop in the main finally gets Psystormed, and both medevacs do go down. I mean, ASTREA, how is the supply this close after this long? It doesn't matter. Special's got the 4th. Special can always lift his main out, which he absolutely should. He desperately needs another mineral line. But ASTREA, it's beyond desperate. He's in Starvation City. He's absolutely starving. He's making a Colossus, +2 armor, +1 attack, and High Templar. That stuff does not matter compared to a 4th base. In this sort of scenario, guys, it's all about the 4th bases. That is the most important thing. ASTREA's income will not be able to support much more. He's trying to rebuild probes, but without a 4th base, he's bleeding out. Those 2 Zealots the reincarnated once more. They go in and they do get smacked down. Watch out for that Ghost. That Ghost is very actively being controlled by Special. You can tell ASTREA knows about it, blinks forward, tries to get it. Special's 4th command center is coming up. He has transferred workers from his main, so he will be getting a lot more mining going. And at this point, ASTREA is starving out Special says, you know what? I don't know if we need to storm the gates, man. I can probably just... we've cut off the supply lines. I mean, we don't need to really do that much. Astrea is the one who has to make plays, and we're going to absorb it. Look at that. Gets a prism. Gets like 4 or 5 zealots. The 2 zealots reincarnate once again. They come in, they go out. And trying to get special Prego and then get out of there without having to pay the bill. Astrea, though, it's not gonna work out. I feel like he's played a fantastic game. I think it's encouraging for him, as it always is, his ability to survive in PvT. Special does just kill people sometimes with his overwhelming aggression and multi-prong, but Astrea has not let that happen. Oh, good EMPs on that left side. Beautiful. I like the way he moved those ghosts forward manually. Yeah, they copped a storm. That's not enough to kill a ghost. They just EMP all of that storm energy. There's a lot of Marines in here, so that Colossus is pretty scary. And oh, flanking storms! How is Astrea still hanging on for dear life? He actually clears that army with a bunch of flanking High Templar. It's amazing. The fact that you're still alive is beautiful. It is massive, Astrea. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. This is the most impressive dying animation, death animation I've ever seen from a StarCraft player. Well done, Astrea. You're hanging on like a champion. I mean, some would say it's kind of brutal watching you just get pummeled in that jaw over and over again, but I feel like pain is Astrea's friend. Oh, not this sort of pain though. Ow. No Protoss likes that sort of pain. Ow. Man, if Astrea were to win this game, I would call him I wouldn't, you know, I often call people, like, I give them the wizard title if they make a magical comeback, which, like, you shouldn't really be able to make. But I think for a comeback from here, I would probably give him God Emperor. I think that's what I'd call Astrea, God Emperor of PvT. Because you got to realize his income right now, guys. He's got 4 mineral patches that are almost exhausted there for this. So he's got 1 base of mineral mining, and he's had only that for the last few minutes, and he's desperately trying to get a 2nd mineral line. It's really rough. I liked it. This is a good way. When you're ahead in PvT, your opponent's really focusing on like a small number of splash damage units that need a lot of micro. Pressure the front, get their attention there, doom drop the main at the same time, like double drop, triple drop, maybe even four medevacs. And it's very hard for them to defend. So this just, all you're doing is distracting them at the front, getting their attention here, but not letting them just clean this army up. And then saying, oh, cool, you're not ready for that. You just keep scanning and going, hey, if your army pulls to the north, these guys are going to dive in a lot harder. And if you don't pull to the north, these guys are going to stay pretty passive, and we're just going to let that squad in the main do its work. I mean, you really can't deal with this efficiently. I do like that spread there from Astrea. Look at that. Special says, yeah, got in, killed a bunch of production, cleared some pylons, and he's going to... Oh, EMP drop! EMP drop! He's looking for an EMP drop, guys. He drops a ghost forward, gets an EMP. Astrea panics and attack moves his own Stalker there. Not the right counter micro for Astrea. Flanking High Templar from the south. It's always the High Templar from the surprising angle that is the most effective. You know, the Terrans often tunnel vision on the front. Any High Templar from the front are usually going to get EMP'd, but ones that come from a surprising angle do well. Oh, triple drop in the main once more, and stimming in the front. EMPs, there's no storm, it's just Colossus with no battery, and finally, Astrea gets pushed down to that game, but he does make special work for it. All right, going into game 2, we've got Special down here in the bottom left side of the map, going for gas first once more, and his opponent, Astrea, is going for a very early probe scout, or is he proxying a he's proxying a second gateway? What are you doing? What is this? Okay, that's interesting. It is just an early scout. I just don't know why he sent it on this like roundabout path. Because usually the purpose of sending a probe in this early, guys, is to quickly block the barracks and harass very early. But I guess he just wanted to try to hit scouting a barracks outside the base. So I guess for Astrea, this was all about, I think he might build a barracks out here and hide it, or maybe proxy a barracks down here or something. So he was all about, like, let's try and find that. Now, Special's going to proxy factory. What? Special's going to proxy factory. Now, this might be proxy factory and proxy starport, where you build 3-4 Hellions, load them into a medevac, go for a drop. Hugely committed build, but it hits so bloody early. That's the most common one. He could technically float it into the main and try to build units inside the base, but that is a little bit wild at this level of play. Now, Astrea, he's been in there. He's looked around. He's seen that it's gas first. He's going to be looking for that expansion, and when he doesn't see it, he's going to go, wait a second. Oh, no, yeah, high ground. Oh, but he sees the Marine. The Marine's a huge tell. It's gas first. Why are you going Marine instead of Reaper? Oh, You must be building a factory insanely early. Let's check this out. Does ASTREA go scout? ASTREA has a second gas on the way. He's chronoing and depths out. He's got warp gate. Yeah, he's scouting. He's scouting for it. He knows the build. He knows the build. Great scouting and understanding of what this information means for ASTREA. ASTREA's picked up to Special's tricks. Now, luckily for Special, he gets the factory finished. So he can still build some Hellions or some mines out of this, but he needs to lean out of this pressure, right? You know, he needs to not feel too committed because you're already forcing some form of response from ASTREA. The last thing you want to do here is then just build 3 Hellions and throw them into the meat grinder and, you know, take what is a kind of countered build and then make it way worse. Now, he cancels the Hellion, starts a starport. That's his way of leaning out of the pressure, guys. And unless ASTREA is monitoring it really closely, he might not have noticed that there was a gap in the sparks. You guys see how there's sparks flying out the side of the factory? That's how you can tell if it's producing. Notice the building kind of throbs. These things go up and down a little bit. And he's going to build a... Okay, this is really smart because a probe will die. But a pylon can't get killed really by a Hellion or a Widow Mine. Hellions will take forever to kill a pylon. So he's basically just saying, look, the most important thing is knowing how much Special's committing. If I just build a pylon here, he can't even really kill it, and I can just see what he's up to. Friggin' smart. ASTREA is so good. This is really what sets ASTREA apart from other Protoss players. It's his ability to think outside the box and use all the special tools. And I feel like that's what Protoss is always about. It's about using the special tools, man. It's about finding a way to leverage the weird special aspects of Protoss to your advantage. That probe does go down as well. The factory there, Hellions dancing back and forth. Second gateway coming up. Gonna build a shield battery on the natural. ASTREA still like, dude, this guy keeps building Hellions. I gotta make sure I'm safe. He's gonna go, man, 3 Hellions. He's got a medevac that's coming across with a marine drop. He could elevate all of them into the main base. How many units? We've got 2 Stalkers, 1 Adept, 1 Sentry. Yeah, that Observer, I'd steer it to the left right now to try and see what these guys are doing. ASTREA's trying to go straight across the map to get the guaranteed information. He sees the medevac. He sees the medevac. ASTREA is going to be moving into that main base. But remember, the Hellions are going to come on that natural as well. 2 Stalkers in the main. He's got an Immortal and a shield battery and a 3rd Stalker. That drop is shut down. This Special needs to pull out. Basically, he needs to do the opposite of what Maru did versus SOS in the 2018 BlizzCon. Realize you're scouted and back out of it. Great force field for ASTREA. Blocks one of the Hellions, but 2 of them still getting in. Can he take a single kill? Special should be able to focus down. Yeah, he gets 2. Shouldn't be able to really get any more there. The shield battery does enough healing to keep most of them alive. And that, of course, was not great for Special. But he does have a decently timed command center. He keeps the medevac alive. He can pick up this pylon. Stalkers will probably take a bit too long to get out there, so he can just kill the pylon, pull back. Factory is very slowly going home, and a second barracks is on the way. Lots of Marines queued up, a Raven building. He's going to rally that across the map to harass behind a Banshee. Interesting. Ah, okay. Says Cloak Banshee game 1, fake Banshee game 2. I mean, it's not really fake, but, you know, it's not very committed, is it? You see this as ASTREA, you might be panicking, putting extra observers out on the defense with your Stalkers and doing all that. But ASTREA's going for a 2-base timing. What the hell? ASTREA's doing a 6-gate Immortal bust. Oh, this is an ASTREA special. You don't even think about this being an option. Now Special coming in, he sees no 3rd base. He's got to be thinking to himself, wait, what's going on here? What is this? There's a few Stalkers that are ready for it. And those Stalkers, unfortunately, this building placement's a bit derpy. He sees the extra gateways. Mass SCVs need to repair, and you need to... Oh, he's gonna force field your ramp. Oh, no. Special might pull all of his SCVs to repair, but I don't think he's seen so many sentries. Oh, ASTREA, you foul beast. You creature of the dark depths, you. Oh my god, he sieges it in the perfect position where they can load from the low ground up into it while also force fielding the ramp and warping in new units. My god, that is disgusting from ASTREA. Bringing out the Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm special. Any Zerg player who competed in the first 5 years of StarCraft's history knows this one well. Anyone who ever played Slayer's Arthur has foul memories of someone trying to sneak a prism in your main and trapping you outside. Oh, ASTREA bringing out the special tactics today and finding massive success. I mean, one more force field on that wall will be amazing. Looks like he's basically won the game with this. Yeah, I mean, the Special's got nothing left. You can't fight this with unupgraded Marines, a couple of Marauders, SCVs. A great way to counteract a player who put their factory on your side of the map. Fantastic play by ASTREA. All right, guys, let's go into the next game. We've got ASTREA in the bottom right side of the map. He's going to go for that Reaper wall off. Special in the top left, going for a double gas opening. So no more gas first. Going to swap it up to double gas. ASTREA checking for the engineering bay block. Does come out. Now that scout timing is weak if it's a later engineering bay block. Sometimes people come in right on a minute 15 off, you know, they don't go out down the center path and then start it. So it's very hard to scout every possible, you know, permutation of the engineering bay block, but you can tell ASTREA is trying to make himself a bit safer. Cybercore does go down, moves down with a second probe to build a Nexus. Apparently Artosis was playing StarCraft 2 yesterday on stream, and it was, I'm sure that was an interesting experience. Wow. Sorry, I just heard about this, and it's been a while, been a hot minute. I imagine the speed of StarCraft 2 is always very jolting when you come back to it. When you're not used to it. Oh! This is not real. ASTREA's just trying to fake him out. He's just trying to mess up his wall, make him lift the barracks to build a reactor. And he goes for the second Reaper. So I think ASTREA will just cancel it, get back 75 minerals, and just say, haha, what are you going to do? Cancel your Reaper and build a reactor? You're not going to do that. But he actually even leaves it there. Wow. Very cool moves. The probe looks like it's going to come back in as well. And that Reaper unable to find it. Okay, ASTREA's definitely putting on his annoying hat today. And special, I guess he just slowly kills that with a Reaper. Reaper takes a long time to kill a Pylon. Pylon having an armor, and the Reaper having 2 attacks, which means, of course, it's getting double the armor modifier. Command Center's on the way. Reaper is gonna start damaging that Pylon. Extra Depot goes up over there as well. This Reaper did get pushed back by the Adept. Unable to scout what's going on. Is it Twilight Council? Can he see it from there? No, he cannot. And another Hellion and Reaper on the way. I don't like this opening for Special, guys. I feel like just by building a Pylon, ASTREA has funneled Special into massing Reaper Hellion. And the problem is that he's doing it in vision of ASTREA. That's what I don't like about it. It's like, where are the add-ons? Add-ons are what going to give you the continued production. So he's going to finally get that reactor building, Tech Lab going up there. But going for 3 Reaper, 2 Alien and your opponent knowing about it isn't great. On the other hand, he does only have 2 Adepts and a Stalker out. I mean, that's usually enough to shut this down, especially with the Reaper Wall, right? Reaper Wall does simplify these situations quite a lot. This is not Special's first scouting. He's going to go in now. He's just grouping up his units. Let's see what he can get done. Does he try to fight this or just run past? He's going to go for the run past. Where are those shades from ASTREA? A little slow on those. Where are the shades, ASTREA? ASTREA, what are we doing, mate? Oh, no. Okay, good probe movement, but oh my god, he might line up a little bit. Oh, man. Oh, man, ASTREA's taking a lot of damage. He takes 6 probes. 7 probes go down. Where was the Adept shade? I mean, his probe flight gets inside the base at least and says, hey, you're going for a Raven. Obviously, you think it's a Raven because you don't say Cloak. Special is going Banshee, though, so he's going to want to kill the probe and then start Cloak. It's good just knowledge of denying information. Be careful, though. There is Death Vision. There we go. Okay, no worries. Actually, he's not going Cloak. But definitely a big screw up for ASTREA to not go for that shade on those Adepts. He ends up losing 7 probes and then another 8th one with the scouting one, of course. 4-gate blink is going to be the follow-up, but it's not a very crisp 4-gate blink. It's a slowed down one. He is chronoing probes while he waits up right now, trying to catch up in this regard. He doesn't have a crazy amount of gas, but it should be enough to support 4-gate blink stalker production. Single Marine sneaks out. He's going to go for a scout. He'll take a while to get over there, though. It is going to be Raven, a tank, Marines building. Single Banshee goes across the map to harass. I mean, Special's playing pretty safe and standard from here. The only problem could be if he just doesn't expect 4-gate blink because he's playing ASTREA. Because Special has no scouting, he really has no way of realizing what the follow-up is. And if he sends the Banshee across and the Raven across to harass, and he's supply blocked, so that second tank is still not building. First tank popped like 25 seconds ago. He's basically missed almost a full siege tank of build time here. And he has no real defensive position in the main. Like, the buildings aren't creating a wall for him. So he's going to come with the Marine. He sees no third there. He sees 3 Stalkers and an Adept, but that doesn't... The fact that they're at home this late might give Special the idea that there's just a third base on the triangle. He might not realize exactly what's happening, and that could be a disaster. He needs to start Marauder and keep up tank production right now. He starts a Marauder in Stim. He's got a second tank about to pop out, but the Banshee in the main. Let's see, can ASTREA handle this? I mean, he's got 2 Stalkers with Blink. That should be all he needs. But that Banshee getting damaged. ASTREA's already small. Economy gets even smaller. Oh, my lord. 6 probes going down. He's at 35 workers. ASTREA basically needs to win the game with this move. Luckily for him, Special doesn't seem to realize what's happening. That tank is sitting so exposed. If it's in the back, I think Special wins this game for sure. He's blinking in right now. Where's the defense? Special needs to pull the boys. The tank's going to get absolutely blasted. The Raven Comes in, drops an auto turret. Nice blink back micro from ASTREA. That tank very slow to reposition for special. He needs to get up here with everything he's got. The Raven a little exposed at the front. The Cyclone microing back and forth. Nice lock on from the Cyclone, but hot pickup with the Warp Prism does break the lock on. Raven almost goes down. ASTREA needs to pull out. He's got to pull out of there. His Stalkers are getting a bit too low. He loses one. Does pick off a few more SCVs on the retreat. Only a single Stalker went down for 11 SCVs. A tank, a Marauder, 2 Marines, and the Raven using up some energy and almost getting taken out. It's getting mass repaired, but ASTREA sets up pervert mode on that Observer. He sees the tank on siege. He can blink right back in there, but the Prism's not in position to get that. Raven Cyclone is going to take out the Observers. Stalkers are back in the main. Tank in a more defensible position, but it's not covering the main base. ASTREA's got a third base behind this right now, but he's still only on 38 workers. He sends one Stalker in front, blinks forward, takes out the tank. He's just going to YOLO it, takes out the Raven before it can drop the auto turret. He doesn't need to focus that Marauder. He's using the Prism for some nice pickup micro, trying to make up for the fact that, of course, he used his blink offensively. Can't use it defensively. The Zealots warping in, and that is going to wipe Special off the map. Special, so used to ASTREA not doing 4-gate blink, but he's now done it twice in this series. Special is going to need to respect that. ASTREA goes up 2-1. All right, guys, up here in the top left side, we got ASTREA. Looks like he scoured all down this side of the map. Look at this probe path that he's taken, looking for hidden barracks. Special in the bottom right has not been proxying barracks this whole series, but ASTREA is like, where's your barracks hidden? I know you're hiding it. And you guys know what's crazy. This seems crazy. He's losing so much mining time. But think about it. If he finds a proxy barracks and cancels it, it ruins Special's opening. So ASTREA has specifically tailored his openings just to look for that massive advantage that he could get by ruining Special's start by catching a proxy barracks. This is actually really cool. And apparently he's just fine with sacrificing a bit of minerals early for that huge potential payoff. This is really cool, man. I like that ASTREA is taking a big risk like that. And people often say, well, it's not working. Special's not doing it. This is actually bad. Yeah, it is. Don't get me wrong, guys. It is objectively not paying off for him. Special's getting the better opening. But at the same time, I like when a player is thinking outside of the box, trying different things, and looking for something that, yeah, it does cost you, but it has such a big potential payoff. And I mean, in general, it's just exciting as well, because I like when a player is risky enough to do high reward, high risk, high reward StarCraft. That's fun, man. Cybercore into Nexus over here. Notice the Cybercore is blocking, but the gateway is a bit more protected in the back. We'll get the second pylon blocking the reactor again. ASTREA really just wants to scout what's going on as well as block the reactor from going down. I think in this case, he's not going to cancel it. He built it way too late to cancel it. Now, does he recall the probe, guys? He sees the Reaper coming. Oh, and he sees the Reaper coming. Recalls the probe. Doesn't cancel the pylon. Okay, wow. I love this. This is a spy pylon, guys. I've told you, when I used to do my most annoying player ever show, and I'll do some more episodes in the future, just haven't done it in a while. This is one of my favorite things, the spy pylon. It's a pylon you just build just to slightly inconvenience your opponent. Cost for cost, it's not worth it, right? Because you can just lift the barracks, build it elsewhere, or just keep building Reapers one at a time. But it just disrupts your opponent's build, gives you extra information, and it throws them off their game a little bit. So the spy pylon, it's really about just spiting their build and going, you can't do it the way you want it to do. Nah. Oh, he almost got that extra shot off. Special, bit dangerous there. Does lift the barracks and goes for the reactor. And looks like he will start a third depot in the wall off. It is going to be Widow Mines and the Starport. 2 Reapers coming up here. And Twilight Council hasn't started yet. A second gateway actually goes down first. Interesting. Is ASTREA going to try and take a quick third? He's already mining those gold minerals out. Is he just going to go 2-gate into a third base? What is this? 3-minute 10 Robo. Guys, I said in game 1 a Protoss player did that build to me on the ladder and I thought it was just a bad build. I'm pretty sure this exact opening someone else did to me on the ladder. I think everyone's been copying ASTREA's builds and I'm slow to the mark because I haven't studied these games. I keep thinking they're just doing dumb bad builds. Apparently ASTREA's been trend-setting a little bit and some of those ladder Protosses have been copying him. The pylon still sees everything that's going on. So he's going to know it's a Widow Mine drop if he's been looking at this often enough. Like, yeah, he's going to see a medevac come out. I mean, the pylon's got good vision, man. This is pretty annoying. Finally, Marines are going to start clearing it up. Yeah, it's third Nexus. So this is 2-gate Robo third Nexus, guys. ASTREA's playing not the craziest, fastest Nexus, like some of his builds where he goes at 2 minutes, but still very early for this matchup. But he's only got a few Stalkers, a Sentry, and an Adept. Is that enough to defend this Widow Mine drop? Only if he's well positioned. He also is a little bit supply blocked right now. Oh, Reapers run in, and Reapers go down. Very nicely done. Widowmine drop coming in, though. Watch out. Astrea's seen it. So that's not going to be any surprise boom booms. Do want to see him spread those probes to try to set off those Widowmines if possible. And looks like one Widowmine will go down. 2 probes do fall, but Medevac is going to try and rotate into the back of the main. Wow, risky maneuver there. Special. I think one of the Widowmines hasn't dropped yet. So he says, look, I don't think you have Blink yet. It's too early in the game for that. He doesn't know about the lack of the Twilight Council, but he might be realizing now that he's seen the Quick Third and the Robo. Extra couple of probes go down. That's 4 probes in total. And a Hallucinated Phoenix scouts Raven tank. He knows there's no second or third barracks. So ASTREA knows there's no quick stim in this game. No third gas down yet either. Special does have a pretty scary army of just Marines, a tank, and a Raven, though. That Medevac looks like it went down, guys. Maybe tried to fly out. Don't know if that was an F2 from Special, but looks like it did fall. And what's the next step here? Special still building tanks and the Liberator, as well as non-stop Marines. Guys, he is going to be so late on his extra barracks. Finally going down at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And here we go. He's moving out down the right. ASTREA is wondering where he is right now. He actually catches the Raven on the rotate. Ooh, okay. But he doesn't know about the army on the right. This is really problematic for ASTREA, guys. He's trying to go for a Forge, a Robo Bay right now, but without a Twilight Council, he does not have the ability to jump on top of these sort of charge armies. Raven's going to come in. He catches it. Oh, okay. He's going to do some damage. I don't think he kills it, though, which is problematic because his whole army's out of position to get a Raven. He doesn't even kill the Raven, and the army shoves in for Special on the right. ASTREA missing this army. He was not expecting a push down that right side. 4 probes go down instantly. A pylon falls. The Nexus looks like it's going to go down for shoresies. ASTREA is in big trubs right now. He's going to cut off the reinforcement from the bottom right side. And if he could get on top of the tank, that wouldn't be too bad as well. Ooh, Archons getting morphed in there. The tank goes down. If you could save this Nexus to be huge, but of course, Special's too good. Focuses it down. He's going to take out the sentries as well. He gets all 3 sentries. This is a disaster. Liberator Siege is the natural. The Raven was auto-turret dropping the main as well at the same time. Yes, ASTREA cleans this up with some clever hallucinated Archons, but dude, 8 more probes just went down. Oh, my lordy lord. Okay, Stalker's coming in from both sides. Doesn't lose any. Well done by ASTREA. I mean, we talked in game 1 a lot about how ASTREA can take a punch. Well, he's taking a walloping, guys. Let's just say in this case, ASTREA is the young boy, and Special's his daddy. Special decided he's not the best dad either. Let's just say he might wear a white singlet, let's just say he might, you know, maybe get like a stocking and fill it with quarters and start kind of beating the crap out of him. That's what's happened in this early game. Equal workers, which is amazing for Terran. He's going to do that big 5 barracks follow-up push that he did in game 1 again off of a fantastic start. And ASTREA's like, I have +1 attack, Colossus range, and +1 air weapons and a Stargate. When behind random Stargate transition? ASTREA is literally like, I'm gonna make a +1 Stargate unit. Like, what? What in the hell are you even expecting to... I don't know what ASTREA's plan is. Apparently, it's some form of turtle. He's got Colossus, Immortal, Stalker, Sentry. Special is adding a 3rd command center after 4th and 5th barracks, which is a little odd. I'm kind of surprised. I thought he'd just go, like, pedal to the metal on this follow-up tank push, but I guess Stim and Shields is so late, he's just waiting a little bit. Looks like he'll try to double drop the main while pushing, and a fleet beacon and a 2nd Stargate. ASTREA is going to try to transition into capital ships. You'd assume carriers in this scenario, but he's also going ground upgrades as well. He's got Colossus. I mean, the good thing here is this fakes out that there's a ground army, because you're seeing Colossus. You're never thinking air in that scenario, right? So Special won't expect it. On the other hand, how do you survive to get it? Yes, ASTREA's got 66 probes. He's got 3 bases. Guys, remember, he has no Twilight Council. He doesn't have charge. He's got a couple of unupgraded Stalkers, a Sentry, 2 Immortals, and a Colossus. This army is very weak. It's paper thin right now, and it could absolutely get overwhelmed. Special with that double drop on the left. Looks like he's just going to join up for a giant push on the right. I'd love to see bunkers with this again. He's actually only got 8 Marines with that army. Not a lot of units that shoot up, and it's Tempests! ASTREA says, I believe in the power of memes. I'm gonna go for Tempest. Now, Tempest outrange tanks. They will eventually defeat this entire push. There is nothing for Special to deal with that. Problem, the Tempests aren't here yet. That base is almost certainly gonna fall. The tanks are moving forward. Special's building turrets. That's not gonna help. Special is building turrets. That's not gonna help. He did see the Stargate. Well, he saw the Stargate building a Tempest. He actually scanned it. He saw the Stargate building a Tempest. He at least knows about that. The Immortals are going to come forward. They're going to take out one siege tank. Battery overcharge. Oh, man. It keeps them alive, but they do take a fair bit of damage. The battery and the pylon are looking like they're going to go down. The first two Tempests are here. He's going to start focusing down these siege tanks, but he's got, what, one Disruptor, two Colossus, the only thing standing in between that army and that third base going down. That third base is going down for sure. There is no way. Pull the probes. ASTREA, get the probes out of there. Get the probes. He doesn't want to give up this base, but he's losing so many workers. His Tempests are trying to focus down the tanks. The Marines almost get that Tempest. Does take some big Colossus shots, though. Oh, no. A Tempest goes down and 11 probes. ASTREA is absolutely diddled in this game. There's a third command center up, fully mining. Second starport on the way. You've got +1 attack upgrades. You've just taken out the third and a ton of probes. Special is miles ahead. And ASTREA back on 2 base at the 10-minute mark. Restarts his third base. And +2 air weapons. This man has this much faith in the Tempest Disruptor play that he's like, if I get +2 air weapons, that'll do it. Now, I don't know if you guys are good with numbers. I don't know what +2 air weapons really helps with. Does it allow you to, like, kill medevacs, tanks, or Vikings in less shots? Too many numbers because they do different damage versus air and ground. But if people want to do some maths in the comments, figure out some interactions where that really helps, let me know. For me, I feel like he's basically just saying, I will turtle for the rest of this game and just try to survive. Special sees the new 4th base. He doesn't know about the 3rd being rebuilt. That's going to go down. Instant cancel, 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 cancel. ASTREA. He does cancel at the very last second. The Marines trying to jump on top of these Tempests. They pull back. And looks like the Cybercore is going to go down. No +2 air upgrade for you. Special does not want to deal with carriers in this game. And indeed, there are carriers on the way. Oh, the Disruptors run in and die. ASTREA is getting wrecked in this game, man. He is trying a very alternate way of getting back into a game that is not being going his way. His Tempests are going to keep trying to focus down these tanks. They have 10 range, but they don't actually have 10 vision. I believe they only have 8 or 9 vision, which is why without an Oracle or something or an Observer out there, you can see they do have to get dangerously close to the Marines, but at least they're forcing Special to stim nonstop. But Special's got a 4th on location. He's building 4 Vikings at a time. And he's not really focusing on his upgrades that much. It feels to me like Special's just going to go for another maxed out timing. Problem, Special's overbuilding workers. He's going to 80 workers plus here, which is definitely way too many against an ASTREA who's only on 58 workers, but is looking for the killer army. The only win condition for ASTREA is that he drags things out until his army supply overtakes yours because he has less workers. So even though Special will have more infrastructure, more money, he wants to keep trading, and this is perfect. This is a great move. He's going to go in and try to focus down his Stargate. The carrier pops just in time. Very lucky for ASTREA there. So that's not too bad losing that, but he's going to dive on the right at the same time. Disruptors. Tempests are caught out in the open. Vikings take out a Tempest. Great trades here for Special, but oh, he takes a big Disruptor to the face. Battery overcharge tries to go down. The Tempests are starting to fall, but man, if he loses this base again, ASTREA is so dead. Honestly, Special knows he's got 4 bases up, 80 workers. If he gets this base, he wins this game, and his Vikings are hammering right now. The carriers do get their intercepts out. There's not many Marines behind this. If you can take out this base, you win this game. Special going for it. ASTREA says, I must hold. I must hold. We need to hold on. The Disruptors force the Marines to pick up. They take out the siege tanks. The Colossus clear the ground army. The Vikings are going to get routed. Special has to pull back. Special's got to back off right now. Yeah, wow. ASTREA keeps the base alive. He's still pretty dead in this game, but you know what? That was a pretty incredible army versus army fight. Maybe he can counterattack? No. Can he actually counterattack right now? Special needs to pull way back and rally together. I think a counterattack maybe could work, but Special needs to pull way back. He needs to wait for more units. He's got to wait for more units here and just be really cautious about the counterattack because he's got so much more income, right? He's mining 1,000 minerals more a minute, and he could even move these workers, lift his main out, and get even more than that. ASTREA's going to try to rebuild this base. He's on 57 workers. He doesn't even have enough places for those 57 workers to mine from. He's rebuilt an extra 2 Stargates. So he went from 2 down to 1 after one of them got shot down, and then has now gone up to 2 more. New Cybercore is building +2 air upgrades as well. Where is that Cybercore? Over on the left side. He's got a cannon battery ring around his bases. Oh my god, this is a ridiculous start. Now, there's 11 Vikings out, which is enough to take care of these few air units. I mean, Special could just keep trading, but those Colossus have already got insane value. He's got to be careful. 2 Disruptors, 2 Colossus. He's only got a small pack of bio. Special ideally would still be getting drops or something like that. The carriers and the Tempests are looking to intercept. A lot of Terrans will drop here. That's why ASTREA is waiting. He's like, look, there's a good chance he splits a drop to the left. If we can just kill a few full drop ships with these air units, we win the game. So, or maybe not win the game. Even that wouldn't win him the game. Special has unlimited money, dude. Special's got 2 ship weapons, and he's going to 8 barracks. Special is so far ahead in this game. His Vikings want to go catch a carrier popping out or something like that. They don't see the Tempest on that left side, and they do pull back. Now, keep in mind, the AI has changed, so you don't need to focus fire necessarily with those Vikings anymore. Oh, talk about that drop we were talking about, guys. That's 4 full medevacs, but this cannon battery is ringing the base, and that Tempest does good damage. Remember, it does 44 versus ground. It's going to do 33 a shot versus air. It can one-shot that medevac and two-shot this medevac. With cannons as well, some full medevacs could be going down. This might be a big mistake for Special. Special's obviously, he's struggling because he's maxed out. He's got 83 workers, so he's like, well, I got to keep trading. Is this Tempest going to be a hero? Is this Tempest going to ruin him? Oh god, Special, get out of there. Okay, he's going to go for it. The Tempest does not focus fire, neither does the cannon. He's going to lose 1 medevac. Another medevac does get busted. Oh, just barely losing those. Liberator on the right side gets 3 probes. It gets cleaned up by Stalkers. He comes in. The bio gets shut down. He doesn't really kill anything. Only 3 probes going down. Nice defense by ASTREA. That's really important because look at this, guys. The army supply is very even. The army supply is very even right now, and there's better upgrades for him as well. Oh, balls and bio, balls and bio, balls and bio. Oh my god. Oh no. 2 disruptors going down. Special takes out 2 disruptors for only a few bio units. These are amazing trades for him, and he's got so many units out on the map now. 19 Vikings, but 7 carriers. I feel like 19, that's not enough to one-shot. There's also no ghosts. For those who don't know, ghosts are vital in late game for removing shields on those carriers. Carriers have 150 shields. That's 1/3 of their hit points. You get rid of those, and it only takes about 20 Viking shots. Maybe only about 15, I think, to one-shot a carrier. But without EMP, I think it takes about 24 Viking shots, 22? I'm not sure the exact number. Let's say 22 Viking shots to kill a carrier. Bio's going to stim in the right side. Really nice move for Special. Special is rich in this game. He can just keep doing this all day. ASTREA's income is already so bad. He's going to lose the Nexus as well as a lot of those units. That medevac survives. Another drop goes in the main base. The carriers are quick to get on top of that one, but ASTREA's income is weak. The Vikings were looking to catch the carriers. Luckily for ASTREA, the carriers went off there. If those Vikings found the carriers then, everything would have crumbled so quickly, because if you lose half your carriers now for the Vikings, it's game over. You can't afford to replace this. Special can replace these units easily. And look at his upgrades. He's got armor, +2 ship weapons, +3 air attacks, 6 Vikings building at a time. But Special, maybe getting a little cocky. Positionally, these Vikings are out in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of dangerous. You don't want to be fighting out here. He definitely should get out of there, wait till he's remaxed, and then pick one big fight. The only problem Special's making here is that he's trading small units for economy. He hasn't damaged the economy. He's down 20 army supply. He's going to go for a fight. Special dives in there, but the interceptors were pre-launched on the Marauders. So when they changed targets to the Vikings, every single interceptor launched at once, and Special goes in with his 20 Vikings. Kills, what, 3, 4 carriers? 4 carriers for 30 Vikings? That is not a good trade. Special just got absolutely annihilated. That was a terrible fight for Special there. He needed to engage with all of his army all at once, and he needed to make sure that the interceptors weren't pre-launched, but the bio on the right side allowed the interceptors to pre-launch, and his whole army got shredded. Special needed to start throwing SCVs away, boost up that army size, and be so careful about how he took that fight. ASTREA, with the craziest meme build, double Stargate Tempest transition, makes an incredible comeback. We've got to watch that last fight one more time to point out what went on there. The thing is, economically, Special has this game in the bag, but economy isn't everything. Remember, Zergs know this very well. Terrans don't encounter this as often, but if you keep trading army for economy, but you never kill the army, Protoss can hit a death ball, right? Death ball's like an old term, just a critical mass of very powerful units that become very powerful as there's many of them on the screen. You have 1 carrier, 1 Colossus, 1 Disruptor, 2 Stalkers, 3 Zealots. It's not scary. But then you get to a bunch of carriers and a bunch of Colossus and a bunch of Disruptors. Suddenly, this is a very, very, very powerful army. And most importantly, it's way ahead in army supply because Special's been trading army for economy. So the trick here is you need to make sure at a certain point after trading army for economy, you group up and force the army versus army fight, because you cannot let his army get too big. And he's maybe already let him get there, you could argue. However, I feel, and I don't actually know how Viking versus carrier trades the bigger the fights get, but I do feel it's still okay for Special because of the interceptor AI change. He could like move in and A-move, and they will attack multiple carriers and they won't overkill so bad. But one of the problems with mass carrier versus Viking is if you have 30 Vikings shoot 1 carrier, there's a lot of overkill. Remember, there's no EMP here, which is huge. EMP is so essential in these fights as well. But just in terms of raw army supply, basically we're going in with, what is that? That is 23 Vikings, and that's it. That is not a big army, guys. That is 46 army supply, and that's 60 army supply of carriers with Stalkers and a sentry underneath it as well. Not only that, he lets the Interceptors launch. So look, the Interceptors all launch on the Marauders, and then they instantly launch on the Vikings because they're already launched on the Marauders. So it's engaging with the wrong army supply at the wrong time, and it's engaging in a poor matter. Now, he's also going to get massive overkill if he's focus firing these Vikings, which I believe he was. And then he tries to do stutter step, which is pointless. Once you're in a fight with the carriers, you can't outrange them. The reason is Vikings have 9 anti-air range, carriers have only 8 range, but once the Interceptors are out, they have 10 leash range. So carriers have extra range on the Vikings. Stutter stepping is only going to lose you firepower. You're better off just shift-clicking the carriers or A-moving. And carriers have +2. The Vikings only have +1. Remember those upgrades we were talking about? They haven't kicked in just yet. So this is a terrible time for Special to fight. And as much as there was pressure on him to force a fight soon, this was not the fight he needed. Because there's no Storm and there's not much real firepower, a few Stalkers and a Sentry isn't going to change things. He could have done this with mass Vikings and a few Ghosts added in, for sure. But he needed to actually have the correct thing. Sorry, 12 leash range, says Prince F in the chat. Thank you for the correction. I was like, 10 doesn't sound quite high enough. 12 leash range. They have a 3 range advantage on the Vikings. So you either just sprint out of there with the Vikings and try to run away immediately, or you commit. Once you're committed, you are committed. Yes, you're faster than the carriers, but you're going to take so much damage on the retreat once those Interceptors are on top of you. It's really tricky because as a Terran, you feel like just trading and wearing them down, you should be way ahead. But you got to realize you've only been trading army for economy this whole time. ASTREA was actually taking very good trades up to this point as well. And this just goes south very quickly. So massive, massive plays by Special to get ahead in this game, but just lacking experience against the carriers and picking a bad fight here, and everything fell apart so quickly. Very well played by ASTREA, though, to give himself this opportunity. He dragged Special into deep waters where he wasn't comfortable, and that was a really, really cool way to turn that around. GG, well played. ASTREA makes it to the grand finals of ESL Americas.